Let's hope this goes well. Ah, no! Hey everyone, this is Lisa and you're watching Out of the Box. So it's been a while. I haven't uploaded in a while. My hair has changed and the thumbnail has been clickbait because honestly, I'm not wearing the same clothes as I am in the thumbnail. But there are reasons for all of that. I've gone through a few things in my personal life and it's really not interesting, honestly, but that took some time. I was away from home, so because of that I wasn't able to film. So I'm sorry, but I hope that we're back now. Furthermore, I also was planning to shoot this video earlier this week when I was wearing a different outfit and when I made the thumbnail. However, I was too stressed at that point to really film anything, so I didn't do it. Oops. But we've got my trusty Ramune, which you've seen in the opening, and we've got this huge pile of manga to go through. So let's just get into it. As we can see here, there are a lot of manga to go through this month. It's been a huge month, even though at first I wasn't planning on it being this big of a month. However, I went through a few bookstores and I went shopping with friends a few times, and it happens. Just like my earlier manga haul in January, I will be splitting this video into new manga and into manga that I already owned a few volumes of, but that I continued collecting. So let's start with the new manga. For the first new manga, we have one that I have been anticipating for a really long time. I've heard a lot about this on Mangagram, and I just decided that it would be fun, or well, not really fun, to read it myself. It's known to be a very heartbreaking series because it is I Want to Eat Your Pancreas. And honestly, when I first heard of this title, I was really confused because the title is a little bit weird, honestly. But when I read the synopsis, I was immediately interested. As of now, I haven't read this yet. However, I am planning to read it very soon, and I will show some B-roll of the manga footage without spoiling myself, hopefully. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one because I've been looking for a manga that makes me cry for a while now. It's been a while since one made me really cry a lot, and I think that this one should be able to do it because it is about a high school boy that finds out that one of his classmates is dying from a pancreatic disease, and they get closer. So that's a recipe for disaster and for a lot of tears, yeah. For this next manga, I'm also really excited. However, this is actually a series that I have not heard anything about. On Mangagram, from my mutuals, from friends, I haven't heard anyone talk about this series. However, when I went to the comic book store, it was one of the few manga that still had volume 1 available, and I was looking for a new series. So I decided to read the synopsis and it seemed interesting. And the manga that it is this one, Kageki Shoujo. I hope I said that correctly. And it's about this girl, Sarasa, who wants to play a part in the Koka acting troupe, which is an all-female acting troupe. But before she can get there, she first needs to attend a school of musical and theatrical arts. And in those 2 years that she practices dancing and singing and acting, she makes friends, makes enemies, and hopefully gets closer to her dream. So this is a rather new series, I believe, because as of now, only a few volumes are available, and a few volumes were up for pre-order on several websites. So I want to read this quickly so I can choose to maybe pre-order the next few volumes if it interests me. But we're going to give it a try and we're going to see. Now the next manga is finally one that I have already read. I do sometimes read manga, I promise. However, it wasn't the best. The synopsis sounded really cool. I got this one from the same place as I got Kageki Shoujo from. And it was also one of their volume 1s. And the synopsis sounded really Kakegurui-like, with the ranking of people in high school based on their merit. However, I thought that the first volume was a little bit slow, but it does have an anime adaptation, so I guess it must be pretty popular. However, I'm talking about Classroom of the Elite. And then about the manga version, because I know that this was originally a light novel. However, I prefer reading manga to light novels. And I love the art. I love the character design. I think they are really, really cute. However, it took a while to pick up the pace. Like, only at the ending we started learning something about the merit system and learning something about how they are ranked. And because that is what I got the manga for, and because Kakegurui throws you into that gambling from the first chapter, and this one really doesn't. It took the whole first volume to even get to the point where they were being ranked. And yeah, it wasn't the best. However, because the synopsis is so great and because I really like the way it looks and the way the story sounds, I am going to give it a few more tries reading it online and then maybe collecting the rest of the manga along the way. And so we continue with the manga that I haven't read yet. This is a little bit cheating. I actually received this manga on the 1st of May, or at least I opened it on the 1st of May, so it's not actually part of my April haul. However, it arrived here on the 30th of April, so I was like, nah, I'll chuck it in there. And honestly, it's part of my ever-growing collection of LGBTQ manga, and it's this one, Bloom Into You. It's about this girl, Yu, that always adored shoujo manga, and she wants to be given a love confession that makes her heart flutter. However, when somebody finally confesses to her, she doesn't feel anything, and it's not as magical as she thought it was going to be. But then she enters high school, and there is this beautiful student council member, Nanami, and suddenly Nanami confesses to you, and that might be the beginning of a real shoujo romance for you and Nanami together in this really cute Yuri manga. So I've heard lots of good things about this one. I heard it's really cute and I am really going to give it a try very quickly. This next one technically also arrived on the 1st of May, or I opened it on the 1st of May. So I also haven't read it yet, but I'm really excited about it because this one, I've heard about it, I've seen screenshots, I've seen panels on Mangagram, I've seen people fangirl about this, and I knew I had to buy it. It has the most ridiculous cover, but it is Thigh High Reiwa Hanamaru Academy, and essentially what it is about is the daily life of students at this academy that don't really care about gender norms considering uniforms, and instead of wearing the boring male uniforms, these bodybuilders are obsessed with their skirts and their chests, and it's just a high school comedy with men dealing with stereotypically female problems, and honestly, I'm here for it. Well, we've got a lot of manga to go through, so let's just continue with this really popular manga that I have seen everywhere, and there are figures and people have waifus and I live for it. And it's of course Rent a Girlfriend. Honestly, I didn't really know what to expect when I went into this one. I have read this one already. However, I really liked it. I think that Chizuru is a really fun character. I am very excited to get to know more of the girlfriends that are available for rental. And I really want to see what Kazuya does to get out of this situation where his grandmother is totally in love with his girlfriend who is not his girlfriend. So I think that it's really freaking cool, and I can't wait to continue reading this. I honestly gotta get for him too, ASAP. Continuing with our quick review, we have Sweat and Soap. Sweat and Soap is something that I heard about a lot on Mangagram. A lot of people were showing off their collection and saying that it was kind of spicy, but mostly just a really cute manga. Honestly, I think that the premise is a little bit peculiar, about a girl that's ashamed of her body odor, and this perfume maniac just comes and loves her smell, and they fall in love, I guess. I haven't read it yet, but I heard so much about it that I just had to pick it up, and I can't wait because honestly, I love me some quirky romances. I love me some romances that are a little bit weird, a little bit off the beaten path, and honestly, I can't wait to read this. The next manga I picked up, which is also a new series, is this one, A Girl in the Arcade, and I love it because it is textured. Yeah, that's the first thing that comes to mind when I see this. Of course, it has this little bit of fan servicey cover art, so I think I kind of know what I'm getting myself into. However, there is this guy, what it's about is there's this guy working at an arcade, and then this girl comes in and she wants to learn how to tackle arcade games. And did she just ask him out? I see here on the back. So I really want to see what it's going to be like. It says it's the beginning of a summer full of arcade fun and simmering sexual tension. So honestly, it's going to be a very interesting one, I think. A little bit spicy probably, but I guess I can handle that sometimes. I just really thought that the art looked cute and I wanted to give it a try. For another one that I have read already, we have Way of the House Husband. I really didn't know what to think getting into this manga. I knew that it was comedy, I knew that it was kind of short skits and just very short chapters that focus on like a gag, and then you get to the next chapter. However, I didn't really know what it was going to be like. I knew it was something about Yakuza. I knew that he had this really cute apron that he wears on the cover. However, I really didn't know what I was getting into. I put off starting this one for a while because there was so much hype about it and I was afraid that it wasn't going to live up to his hype. However, a friend of mine started watching the anime and he told me that it was actually a really fun watch. So I decided to give it a try as well. And honestly, I really want to buy the next few volumes. Okay. I promise we're finally done. Almost finally done with the new manga. This is the last one that I only have a single volume of. After this we have complete collections or older manga. So we're getting there. And this one is Daytime Shooting Star. It's a shoujo beat manga, which means that I'm going to love it anyway, even though I do think that shoujo beat can be a little bit generic sometimes. But one of my mutuals recently finished this series and I really saw that she enjoyed what the series was about. I think that she really made me interested in it. And honestly, I think that now that I've read the first volume, I can totally understand the fun about it. I can see the fun expressions and I can see the little bit of jealousy and the love triangles and all the fun stuff that is happening. And honestly, I can't wait to get volume 2. Right now it's not available. However, this series is pretty recent, I believe. I think that it was only recently that it finished. So I think that it should be reprinted pretty soon. At least I hope so. Maybe this is copium. However, I really hope that they reprint it and that I can get my hands on volume 2 because I really like the story so far. Now, let's quickly continue into the manga that I have several volumes of. First of all, we have Boys Run the Riot. I've heard so much about this manga, and honestly, I believe that if you are a collector of LGBTQ manga, then this is a series that cannot be missing in your collection. There are not that many manga that cover topics like transgender people and transgender expression, gender identity, etc. And I think that that's really important, and this is also by a transgender creator, so it's really cool and kind of autobiographic in a way. And honestly, I think that it's really cool. I've only read volume 1 so far. I am really looking forward to reading volume 2 very soon. But honestly, the first volume gave me actual goosebumps at times. It's about this transgender boy, Ryo, who, he has trouble living his life as a transgender boy, of course, because he still has to wear a female uniform at school, etc. And street fashion is the only thing that he can really find himself in. And then he meets this guy and they start a fashion brand together, and that's basically the general gist of it. It's only 4 volumes long, if I remember correctly, so I think that it's a really good pickup, and I can't wait to tell you what I think about the rest of it. So we will continue with the manga that I have completed, or that is a complete collection. I do think now that I Want to Eat Your Pancreas should have been in this category as well. However, I've already shot footage for that, so I'm just gonna leave it as is. But the next one is actually one that I didn't think I was going to pick up, which is A Girl on the Shore. The reason that I picked this up is because I heard about it in a video from the popular anime YouTuber Akidearest, and I was intrigued because when I read the synopsis, it sounded really generic to me, because it's just about these two high school kids that have a relationship that begins to take change, and they are looking for stuff, but what they find in each other over the course of a summer might be far greater than anything they were expecting. It just sounds really generic, like a generic high school romance, and honestly I like high school romances, so I might still like it that way, but it's not something that I would have picked up if not for the fact that I've been told that this is actually a really deep story. And as you can see on the cover, it's also not really your generic shoujo romance cover. It has a very interesting art style, I must say, and honestly I really want to see with this manga why you shouldn't always judge a book by its cover, and maybe not even always by its synopsis. Well then, we finally managed to get to the final new manga in this haul. And it's actually 2 volumes that are really thick, and because it is the Orange Complete Collection 1 and 2, so that's the full collection, which means that it's, I think, 4 volumes worth of content, like 4 regular manga volumes. For this one, I already know the story. I haven't read it yet, however I have watched the anime that is based off this manga, and I honestly really like that one, so I really wanted to read it in manga form. I have watched it a long time ago, so I don't remember a lot of details, so it's going to be a whole new experience again. I got these 2 volumes second hand, which you can see a little bit with this crease here, and there is a big crease. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a big crease here, but it doesn't really bother me. And honestly, especially volume 2, it's still so tightly packed that it feels as though it has never been read. Maybe that's why there is a crack in the spine, because it's a little bit stiff. But I am just going to give it a try. For those of you who want to know, it's about this girl who receives a letter from herself from the future, and she writes it off as a prank. However, the predictions in the letter actually start coming true, and the letter begs her to try and change the future. So that's what she tries to do. She tries to change fate. It's a really cool series, and I really recommend it, and I hope that after reading this I can say I recommend the manga as well. So we finally managed to get through all the new series that I started collecting this month, and now we can continue on to the series that I was already collecting and that I got new volumes for this month. So let's get into that. For the first one, it was during April that I went to Eindhoven for the Kotatsu Chillings, which is a chillings that was meant for students from the Kotatsu language school, for students who are learning Japanese. And it was really fun seeing my friends again, and they actually had a really cool anime store or manga store there, comic store, but it had so much manga. but it was a little bit overpriced though. However, I do really enjoy supporting physical stores as I really like physical manga shopping, so I dealt with it. And one of the volumes that I got there was this one, which is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 3 Stardust Crusaders, and then volume 4. And it's this really nice hardcover, and it shows Enyaba, which is one of the characters in Part 3, one of the enemies actually. And what I remember is that one of the people I was with really was like, okay, what the hell is that character on the cover? And honestly, I can understand that. It's just Araki's art style. You gotta get used to it, but once you get used to it, it's so beautiful, and there's a reason why it was, of course, also shown in the Louvre. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading this, and actually I know someone else who is really looking forward to reading this, because I have a friend who is borrowing all the JoJo volumes for me, like one at a time. So I gotta keep on buying them to keep him happy, I guess. The next manga that I got a new volume for is actually a manga series that I thought that I had already completed, but then I was looking at it for a challenge and I found out that I didn't have the final volume. I only had the second to last volume. And that one is Vampire Knight. So I had up until volume 18, but that is missing the final parts and the epilogue, and that's really what I wanted to look at and what I wanted to be able to read, because I really like this series. As some of you might know, it is the series that got me into manga way back into 2013, and honestly I really want to be able to reread this, and now I finally can, because I have the full collection available. If you like shoujo manga, then please give Vampire Knight a try. It's a true classic, and it also has an anime, but the anime doesn't cover all of the manga, so give it a try. Well, the lighting is slowly yet surely getting worse, I think. I want to fix it, but I don't really know if this fixes it. However, it does fix a little bit on my screen, so I will try it. Anyway, for the next manga that I got a new volume for, this is actually just a volume 2. I went shopping with a friend of mine, and we went to the American Book Center, and they actually had volume 2 of Haikyuu in stock. And I was still debating on whether or not to give Haikyuu another volume, because I don't want to get hate for this, but it didn't grip me as much as I expected from all the hype in the first volume. I did ask one of my Instagram mutuals about it, and she said that it might be better to first watch the anime, as the manga, especially in the beginning, can be a bit slow, and it helps if you already know what's going to happen from something a little bit faster paced. So after this volume, I had that same question. I am not sure if I'm going to buy volume 3 just yet. However, I am going to give the anime a try and see if I can get into all the Haikyuu hype. Yeah, I've accepted the horrible lighting, I think. I'm sorry guys, I really want to do this with quality, but it's not really working out in my favor. However, for the next series, we have Love Me, Love Me Not by the great Io Sakisaka, who is also known for things like Aoharu Ride. And I heard a lot about these series, but I've never tried them myself, and I decided to try one. So I have volume 1 from a little while ago, and I also got volume 4 because it was in stock. But then they suddenly had volume 2 in stock, and I decided to get volume 2 as quickly as possible because I really wanted to continue reading. I think that it's a very interesting manga so far. It's not your generic shoujo manga. It's, of course, it's just romance, but it has really got some redeeming qualities. And I think that if you, in any way, shape, or form, like shoujo manga, then you should definitely give this one a try. The next manga is one that I'm really happy that it actually arrived, because it was lost in the mail for a while. But here we have it. It's We Were There, volume 4. And the reason why I'm really happy that this finally came in the mail is because this series is actually quite hard to get. There aren't that many copies available, and not many people are selling theirs, and there isn't really a big supply of new volumes anymore. So collecting this series has been a little bit hard. However, I really want to keep continuing collecting this manga, because it is one of the manga that really got me into the deep storytelling that sometimes goes into a shoujo manga, that also taught me that shoujo manga could actually be pretty deep and intense. And I really like that, and I am very thankful for that, because I found a lot of good stories and a lot of good life lessons from shoujo manga and other manga. And I'm not sure if I would have taken those life lessons as seriously if this manga didn't show me the serious side of manga before. So I would definitely give this a read. Maybe don't try to collect it, because then it's easier for me to collect it. But definitely try to read it online. And yeah, let's hope for a reprint. I fixed the lighting. I'm so happy. I'm not gonna film all of these past manga again, but at least for now the lighting is fixed. This next one is one that isn't really a manga. It's a character encyclopedia. However, I think that it fits into this category, and it is this one, the Attack on Titan character encyclopedia. And it's just this huge, huge. It's a normal sized manga book, but then it's full of the different characters, and it goes up to at least where season 4 happens. So it's really up to date, and I think that it's really cool. And I got it for a good deal, so I decided to get it. And I think that if you're a real Attack on Titan fan, then it can be really fun to have this one in your collection. Continuing with the nice manga, I finally found a manga that I have been looking for a while, and that was Kaguya-sama Love is War Volume 5. I think that this one was out of stock for at least 4 to 5 months, and I really don't want to start, with series that I'm following and series that I know I am going to fully buy. I have this idea, I can pre-order them and it'll be fine, but pre-ordering volume 22 when I'm only up to volume 5 right now, or volume 4 before this, it felt a little bit weird. So I'm glad that I finally have volume 5, and now the search begins for volume 6. But I have hopes, because if you have perseverance, the reprint will happen. No, but Kaguya-sama is a popular enough manga that I know for sure I'll be able to get all of it new within a time frame. It might take a while, but I'm pretty sure that it's going to get plenty more reprints. So get this one while it's in stock. And we're almost done with all the manga in this haul. We have only this one and 2 more books left, so let's get into it. This one I have been waiting for a while, just like We Were There, it was lost in the mail. This one, I actually had them send a new one. This is High Rise Invasion Volume 3 and 4. All of High Rise Invasion is being published in these omnibus volumes that cover like 2 volumes. And right now I have 1 through 10. This was the final one that had to arrive to get me up to 10. And as far as I know, 11 through 16 are pretty readily available. So I hope to, in the upcoming months, complete my collection for this manga. I fully read it online, and then I decided, when I heard that it had an actual official English translation, I knew that I had to buy it because I really enjoyed this series and the action, and I think that it's really good. It has an anime. It is on Netflix. It doesn't have the best reviews. I haven't watched it yet. I'm not sure if I should, but I mean, I like the manga, so it's not gonna change my opinion of the manga anyway. But give it a try. The final manga of this haul is Even Though We're Adults. And honestly, this volume was amazing. It's only picking up. I love this series. I think it's so beautifully written. I feel so much for all the characters. Everyone, it feels so real. And I honestly just can't wait for the next volume, but I have to wait until freaking August. So yeah, that's going to be a little bit tough. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading more of this. And because I have been reading everything in print, I don't want to switch to digital, even though I'm really interested in what's going to happen next. I just want to continue reading the same way I started reading, and to do that, I guess I just have to suck it up and wait until August. But yeah, if you have any interest in Yuri manga or LGBT manga, then this one is definitely one that I would recommend. And then we're already at the final book that I wanted to show in this April haul. It's not a manga, it's an art book, but I just really wanted to show it off. And yeah, I'm just going to put plenty of B-roll in there because honestly, this book is amazing. It is the art of Miyazaki's Spirited Away. Spirited Away was my first Ghibli movie, and it really had put a lasting impression on me. I think that this is honestly one of the coolest movies I've ever watched. I have no problems at all rewatching it, and yeah, it just warms my heart. It makes me really happy. It makes me sad. It makes me feel a lot of emotions. But most of all, it gives me this really magical feeling that only Ghibli can provide. And I just want to show as much as I can from this book. However, I would say, I would tell you, just get it yourself because it's worth having this one in your collection if you're a Ghibli fan. So that's the final book. Well, that was everything. It was a full haul. I'm really afraid of the length of this video, but I'm not gonna split it in two. I really just want this to be one video. My mother's going to say that it's way too long again, but she has an attention span for YouTube videos of around 10 minutes maximum. So I think whole videos just aren't her cup of tea anyway. Sorry mom, you're gonna have to watch this one in a few parts because it's gonna be a long one. Anyway, thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed watching a video again. I know that it's been a while since I uploaded. However, I hope to do it more regularly again. I am taking care a little bit of my spending habits, so I will be buying less, which means that I will have less to feature. However, I've been thinking about making videos like what I read in a month, or just an in-depth review of one series. And if that's something you would be interested in, then please let me know so I can know to add that to my repertoire. And yeah, I guess that's it. Thank you for being here. If you want to, you can subscribe. It means a lot to me. However, a like or a comment is also really appreciated. I just really like it that people listen to me rambling about the stuff I love. And yeah, have a good one. Have a nice day. Lisa out.